Hello there, everyone. We are T-minus less than 1 minute away from essentially Nintendo's E3 Direct for 2024. And they said that it would not include anything regarding the Switch successor, which I have dubbed the Snatch in the meantime. But I wouldn't be too surprised if some of the game reveals here today end up being on the Switch successor. Because Nintendo's no stranger to cross-gen titles, right? And they're not just going to not show the game if it's going to come out on another console, right? And I remember reading somewhere, I don't know if Nintendo themselves said it. Maybe it was a leak or a rumor or something, but I couldn't imagine myself believing it if it were just like a leak or a rumor. But I remember reading something convincing that not this Direct, but the Direct after will reveal the Switch successor. And in that case, that's making me believe even more that we're going to see some cross-gen games revealed today, even though we won't know that they're going to be cross-gen until later, right? And so one of those cross-gen games could be Metroid Prime 4. I know I told myself that I would just stop thinking about that game until it gets a real trailer, but we're kind of around the time now where the cross-gen games would be getting shown, right? Cold open. Oh, is Mario and Luigi back? Alpha Dream's gone though, right? So is somebody else making it, or did they somehow resuscitate Alpha Dream? I doubt that's the case, right? It's probably someone else. On one hand, this stings a little bit because it should have been Alpha Dream. Nintendo shouldn't have just let them die like that. Yeah, it is Mario and Luigi. I'm sure a lot of people are probably rolling their eyes right now thinking more Mario stuff, but Mario and Luigi actually is one of my favorite franchises ever. Bowser's Inside Story being in my top 10 favorite games ever. This looks really good too. I like the outlines they're doing. Obviously, I prefer the 2D, but the way they're doing it with the outlines and whatnot is still evocative of the 2D animation. I think that's a really good cold open. What's the subtitle, though? It just said Mario and Luigi. Yeah, that's pretty classic battle stuff. I'm trying to keep an eye out for some kind of theme, right? Because ever since the second Mario and Luigi game, each one kind of has a theme, right? The second one is time travel. The third one, being Bowser's Inside Story, is like Fantastic Voyage. And the one after that is Dream Team. And then the one after that is the crossover with Paper Mario. But this one seems pretty generalist. Maybe it is a reboot. No? Brothership? Well, that's a pretty generic subtitle, right? It's not really relating to any kind of specific theme. So I'm taking that as a reboot, which I guess makes sense because it's not Alpha Dream making it.
That was the first new entry in the Mario and Luigi series in almost 9 years.
Yeah, it's been that long.
Brothership. Please look forward to a seafaring adventure that unfolds across.
Okay, I'm already pleasantly surprised. He said seafaring adventure, so maybe that's kind of loosely the theme. But it wasn't super pirate shippy, you know what I mean?
The championships home or on the go. The thrill of the Nintendo World Championships is heading to the Nintendo Switch system.
So it's all the games from the World Championships? An actual real port, not just Nintendo Online service? Finally. More of this kind of thing, please. Every one of those games on the Nintendo Online service should also be purchasable. It's so ridiculous they're not.
You can also try more difficult legend challenges.
So I have to
like completing Super Mario Brothers in one go using warp pipes.
I have to give my applause when it's something that I've actually been asking for, even if it's really basic like this.
Put your skills to the test in survival mode, where you'll race against ghost data of players worldwide.
Yeah, so already 2 for 2 are things that I'm going to buy. Definitely buying Mario and Luigi, unless they screw it up somehow, right? And definitely buying this to incentivize them to release more retro games for sale.
Pre-orders for the digital version are available now on Nintendo Wii.
Hopefully this isn't one of those like super limited quantity in terms of physical release, but you can still at least buy it digitally. Fairy Tail? Wasn't expecting a Fairy Tail game. I'm doubtful that this is anything significant, right? It's probably just like an arena fighter, right? Oh, it's Koei Tecmo. So yeah, it's not a fighting game. Whoa, the aliasing. Well, I mean, it is a Switch presentation. I don't think I've brought it up on this YouTube channel before or anything, but for a while I did enjoy Fairy Tail, and I watched several episodes, and I thought it really started to fall off around the Edalus arc. I went ahead and finished the Edalus arc because I was invested, and I wanted to see if it got better after the Edalus arc, but it didn't, in my opinion. And so, 2. Was there another Fairy Tail game by Koei Tecmo? But yeah, I did not enjoy the show very much, starting around the Edalus arc. Nier?
From Final Fantasy series creator Hironobu Sakaguchi and composer Nobuo Uematsu.
Is this just straight up a new thing? Dude, Square Enix needs to cool it with these titles. What was it? Fantasian Neo something? That's straight up not Nier, but that looks so much like the Nier guy. I'm probably automatically buying this too because I want to keep on supporting... Oh, that's interesting. I want to keep on supporting turn-based RPGs since Square Enix doesn't want to do that for Final Fantasy. Bought Octopath Traveler. I bought the Live Alive remake.
Now, let us save the world together.
That was a really interesting idea. I wonder how it builds upon that. It's an awful title, but I'm buying it. Fantasian Neo Dimension. Fantasian... Is it like Fantasian, comma, Neo Dimension, as in Fantasian and Neo are both adjectives for the dimension? Or is it Fantasian, colon, Neo Dimension? Okay.
Pass and shoot in 2-on-2 matches using motion controls.
No comment about this game.
Try out 3-point challenge solo and score as many baskets as you can.
Dude, anyone here ever play Mario Hoops 3-on-3? I'm not even a big basketball fan, but Mario Hoops 3-on-3 is one of my favorite DS games. And I recently played it again on the Wii U, since the Wii U has some DS titles that you can buy, or could buy. And it is... I was expecting it to not be as fun as I remember, but it's still really good. It was made by Square Enix, weirdly enough. Mario sports game made by Square Enix. I'm guessing puzzle platformer. Definitely not an action platformer with that cable stuck to his head. Or, okay, as soon as I said that, the cable goes away. Still not thinking it's an action platformer, though. Yeah, this is what I was expecting. The kind of filter they have going on with the background reminds me of one of the filters that become active when you're playing some of the levels in Crash Bandicoot 4 on a certain mode. If you play the levels on a certain mode, it would give this weird filter over everything. I'm not sure if I'm entirely sold on it. Guess it looks a little better in this case because the whole game is designed with that in mind, whereas in Crash Bandicoot 4, they just kind of slapped on the filter post hoc. They already announced this, right?
And only Mickey and friends can help. In the brand new adventure, Mystery in Monarch. Uncover hints and evidence scattered throughout the world. Then use the dashboard to crack each.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they announced this already. Or revealed this. We already got a trailer. Oh, it's out already. A free update? Okay. Updating a Disney platformer with the free LC. Weird. Is this just not Animal Crossing? I thought we were done with these. Wow, this is straight up Animal Crossing. You even the sound of the dialogue moving through the box sounded familiar. Why do they need to do that? Oh, a Gretzko? They're announcing that kind of early. I feel like the people that care about that kind of game aren't going to be looking forward to it for a whole year. They're just going to buy it when it comes out, you know. Game Mill Entertainment. Shout out to Game Mill Entertainment. Just because I streamed the Miraculous Ladybug game and it was just as bad as expected. But still a funny time. What was I saying? Oh yeah, they showed a Gretzko there with Hello Kitty and they didn't even make a big deal about it. They're not in the same universe or anything, are they? That was an actual crossover, right? How did Game Mill Entertainment get a trailer in a Nintendo Direct, by the way?
And imposter roles are being added to Among Us.
Roles?
As a noisemaker. Plant tracking devices on others
Oh, like kind of different species of imposter.
Players as a phantom. Suss things out when this free update
Or later today.
Later today.
Isn't that just going to make the imposter side stronger? Did they need to buff imposter? I don't know. I don't play Among Us.
This is Felicidad, a realm of monsters.
Felicidad.
Those who command and raise them are called Farmagia and play a
You have to say it with the real accent. It's more of a TH. If it's a DAD, Zad, I think. It's been a while since I've taken Spanish, but that was something I remember, I think. At least in one area of the world, that's how you're supposed to pronounce it. Maybe not every Spanish-speaking country. More farming stuff. Dude, the aliasing and the frame rate. That's how you know it's a Switch Direct or a Switch presentation. Oh, it's a bit of a monster tamer as well. Oh, the Switch is not going to handle all those models on screen. I think we might be seeing our first cross-gen game here. We just saw a Fairy Tail game. This guy looks like a Fairy Tail character. Woof. I respect the dev for not caring at all, not giving one F about the hardware limitations. For Magia. Better title than Fantasian. DK, this is Donkey Kong Country Returns. This isn't a new thing. This is the first Donkey Kong Country Returns. Yeah, this is the opening level, so it must be a port. It's weird we got the Tropical Freeze port before this game, considering that this game is older, but I guess the reason why we got the Tropical Freeze port first is because it was on the Wii U, and barely anybody had a Wii U, right? So barely anybody played it, whereas this game was on the Wii, meaning a lot of people played it. Oh, but it also got ported to the 3DS. I forgot about that. Yeah, so this game got ported to the 3DS, and now it's ported to the Switch, but it's okay because this game is amazing. This game, I was over the moon about this game when it came out. This was really, just what the doctor ordered for me at the time. Because, yeah, even now, you know, it's been a while since the last Donkey Kong game because of Tropical Freeze. But we at least have a precedent now that they made a couple new Donkey Kong Country games with this game and Tropical Freeze, right? So it's not that far-fetched that Retro Studios might have been working on a third one before Nintendo moved them over to replace Bandai Namco for Prime 4. So they're probably eventually going to make another Donkey Kong Country, right? But back when Donkey Kong Country Returns first came out, it was completely unexpected that they would be doing another 2D Donkey Kong game, you know? So yeah, TLDR, if you haven't played this game yet, you should.
Next, please take a look at this.
Really good level design. Fire Emblem. Is this Genealogy of the Holy War remake? Dude, I've been waiting for Genealogy of the Holy War remake. The last two couple of Fire Emblem games have not done it for me. Oh, this is the Dragon Quest 6 remake? Is this 6? I get the numbers mixed up sometimes. This was revealed already, right? Dude, the HD 2D style is so useful and applicable to so many games. I know some people are probably a little tired of this style, but I can't get enough of it, so keep it coming. It's either Dragon Quest 5 or 6, right? Perplexing challenges just shows him pushing a rock. Oh.
RPG remade in HD 2D. Forge your own path.
Just because of this game being in that style, I would argue this might be the best looking Dragon Quest game there is.
The legacy begins.
By the way, I have an Infinity Strash, a Dragon Quest Infinity Strash review on the channel. Oh, that's 3? I was way off. Maybe I was thinking of how
November 14th.
of the whole Final Fantasy 6/3 thing. So maybe part of my brain was remembering this was 3. And then I was conflating it with how Final Fantasy 6 is 3 in America. Unless I'm wrong about that as well, right? I was about to say, aren't these guys from a different game? Wow, 1 and 2 as well. It's weird they're starting with 3 and then doing 1 and 2 instead of starting with 1 and then doing 2 and 3, going in order. But I guess 3 might be more popular.
ドラゴンクエスト3の映像いかがでしたか？ようやく発売日を発表できて僕も嬉しく思います。そして今日サプライズで発表したドラゴンクエスト1 and 2も
Why didn't they start with 1? So weird.
決定しました。時系列としては3が物語の始めとなっており
Oh, I guess that's why they did it first.
順番でプレイしてもらうとあっと驚く
For chronological order.
ロト3部作となる3と1 and 2どちらもぜひ楽しんでもらえたら嬉しいです。どうも堀井裕二でした。
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Hori. We hope you're excited to play the entire Erdrick trilogy, now in HD 2D. Let's continue with more headlines.
Is this...
Have some fun.
Are these Funko Pops?
Say hello to Jaws? Wait, He-Man? Great Scott! Is that Marty McFly? The world of Funko is coming to life in this.
I will say this might be... This game
More than 60 characters. As you
by itself might somehow
20 iconic movies, TV
hold
shows,
the record
and more
for the most amount of IPs represented in one game,
to explore epic worlds,
which would normally be something that
unique puzzles,
I would be somewhat excited about.
your foes.
But I guess the trade-off is that it's this.
From Battlestar Galactica, they're certainly not
Because
playing around. Unbox the universe. When Funko
these guys already have, like,
Nintendo Switch,
access to all these different IPs, or at least deals with all of these different companies to, like, make things for their IP.
board of spooky.
When do you ever get another company like that making a game where they have access to all of these IPs? Kind of a shame, really. Wow, I can't believe how that looked. That looked like just the aliasing and the frame rate. That looks straight up
Explore multiple mansions.
like worse than a DS game. I don't even know how to describe that. That's going to get memed on, I bet. This is Luigi's Mansion
Shenanigans.
2, right?
Luigi's Mansion 2
Yeah.
HD.
I was about to say, did I just miss like
June 27th.
a 4 announcement? But this isn't 4 at all.
Nintendo eShop. Meet the quirky little Denpa Man. Find him, catch him, and lead him
Denpa.
on a joyful RPG adventure.
They are straight up Teletubbies.
Dungeons and battle
Remember the Teletubbies? Now they're grown up.
all sorts of outfits. Decorate your island however you'd like, and more. Plus,
It's literally, guys, you have to chill.
Special Denpa Man.
Seeing them swim around like that with the antenna on their head, it makes me think of Seaman. Remember when
July 22nd.
Seaman kept on getting leaked and rumored that it would have a remake on
Strategize away in this
3DS? This is the mobile game, right? I would have immediately
of your forces.
been crazy excited upon seeing the Metal Slug sprites, but I immediately was able to tell. I'm pretty sure this is the weird mobile game thing they have going on. So much good sprite art in this game, right? But it's just... well, before it wasn't something I was interested in with it being a mobile game, but I might try it out this time now that it's on an actual console.
Attack Reloaded storms onto the Nintendo Switch system later.
I was about to say this would be a good shadow drop. Thanks. So we're getting that in addition to Metal Slug Tactics, which I'm way more excited about than that. Metal Slug Tactics just got a demo as well. I haven't gotten around to playing it. I was busy the day it dropped. I would have normally liked to done like a little surprise live stream playing it. But I guess that could kind of be the appetizer while we wait for Metal Slug Tactics. I'm surprised this wasn't on Switch already, honestly. Because Darkest Dungeon, and 2 in this case, they're not particularly graphically intensive, right? Oh, this is Switch Online.
Play Link's classic 16-bit adventure and team up online to explore randomized dungeons in The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past 4 Swords. Experience the remake.
Segue into Prime 4, mayhaps?
In Metroid Zero Mission. Plus, coming to the new Nintendo 64.
Mature.
Nintendo Switch Online Mature 17 Plus collection of games.
This wasn't on there yet? Wait, can't you just straight up buy Turok?
The campaigners' nefarious schemes in Turok, Dinosaur Hunter.
I don't know if you can buy it on Switch, but I know you can buy a port of it. Sure, a lot of... okay, I was about to say, I'm sure a lot of people recognize it just by that.
Their alien conspiracy in Perfect Dark, now with online multiplayer. All 4 games will be
I'm sure that
available
playing it
Online Plus expansion pack.
through the Nintendo Online service is definitely the ideal online experience with that game.
Set sail to save
And leaves nothing to be desired, smiley face.
This is Verona, a young woman with the ability
Is this, Disgaea or whatever it's called? Or is it just a similar art style?
Join her on a journey to save her friend Ash. In this new installment in the Phantom Brave series,
It's not Disgaea.
take on tactical
What is the frame rate? It's not even a real-time game. Come on.
befriended with objects in various ways. Combine
It's weird. I'm not really seeing a grid or anything, even though it's a grid-based game.
Combine with a cannon to attack a large area. A fan to blow enemies around. Or combine with Marona herself for show-stopping abilities that can turn the tide of battle. Phantom Brave.
I hope for that game's sake it's not just a Switch exclusive.
Next year.
Seeing it run like that.
This one's
Ooh!
gonna take you for a ride.
Marvel vs. Capcom
7
2?
arcade games featuring
7?
Capcom characters are fighting their way onto Nintendo Switch as
Dude.
Legend, Clash, and X-Men.
This is the first time they've been available for a console in
Marvel vs. Capcom 2 New Age
eons. Please don't be stuck on the Switch. I don't think it will. I'm confident. Marvel vs. Capcom 1 and 2.
Hit up training mode to polish your fighting skills and combos.
A lab mode, a training mode in Marvel 2? I was not expecting anything significant for fighting game stuff at all today from a Nintendo Direct.
And also cross
99% chance this isn't going to be a Switch exclusive because Capcom rarely ever does Nintendo exclusives, right? They usually are multi-platform. So they're just revealing it here. Surely it'll be on other systems, because this being locked to the Switch would be such a monkey's paw situation. With this being the first time you can play the games online.
The latest game in the Mario Party series takes place on an enormous island resort. Get ready to jump into the biggest selection of Mario Party minigames yet in Super Mario Party
Jamboree. I don't think I've ever seen Jamboree as part of a title.
See some of the new boards where you'll compete to collect the most stars.
I'm actually super into this, but I'm still having to absorb the previous announcement. I was going to say something and I forgot.
Galleria. Use in-game coins to get a star at half price when they're on flash sale.
Oh yeah.
But act fast.
Dude.
Ride around and stay on.
I thought we weren't going to get any more of these Capcom fighting collections because the previous one didn't sell very well.
To 40 spaces with a lucky roll.
Which kind of had me in shambles, because I was expecting that a potential successor to the Capcom Fighting Collection would be a Capcom 3D Fighting Collection, including the 3D fighting games like Rival Schools, Plasma Sword, Techromancer, those games from Capcom, right? But they said that the Capcom Fighting Collection didn't sell very well, and if that game didn't sell very well, then I highly doubt a 3D Fighting Collection would sell better, right? Because the 3D fighting games are even less popular than things like Darkstalkers. And Morgan was like on the front cover of the box, right? And you'd figure she would do a lot for the game's sales just being on the box art. So I completely wrote off any possibility of there being another thing like that. And lo and behold, while we didn't get a Capcom 3D Fighting Collection, we did get another Capcom Fighting Collection.
Wait, there are even more new modes?
So potentially the 3D one is still coming. But I would argue that having a collection with the Marvel vs. Capcom games is even more unexpected than getting a 3D Fighting Collection, because the 3D Fighting Collection was in the realm of possibility of what I was expecting to come out, right?
The Mario Party series, Super Mario Party Jamboree, with new boards.
That's huge.
20-player
I'm going to have to go back and rewatch this Mario Party trailer because
biggest Mario Party in series.
I wasn't able to fully pay attention.
And now, please take a look at this.
The heck? This is Zelda. It's like the not Minish Cap. It's like the Link's Awakening remake, but it's for A Link to the Past. But it's the same kind of art style as Link's Awakening. I think I'll just stick to the original. Also, they already sort of remade A Link to the Past, because Link Between Worlds on 3DS is practically a remake of A Link to the Past, because for anyone that doesn't know, A Link Between Worlds actually started out as a Link to the Past remake, and it eventually just kind of became its own thing. So they called it something else, but that's why it's so similar to A Link to the Past. So even though, you know, story-wise, it's its own thing, gameplay-wise, it's pretty much a, why is it just showing Zelda? Echoes of Wisdom? Is this actually a new thing? Well, that was like straight up the Link to the Past Ganon design, so I did not get that.
Producer of the Legend of Zelda series.
Don't let this be the last thing. It's okay, we got Marvel vs. Capcom 1 and 2.
Zelda, Echoes of Wisdom.
Imagine if that was going to be a shadow drop.
Link has vanished.
I need some time to absorb it. I couldn't have taken that if it were a shadow drop. That would have been just,
You might be thinking,
you need to give me a warning, you know?
sword then? Here, we wanted to create a new gameplay style that breaks conventions seen in past Legend of Zelda games with a top-down perspective.
How's this breaking conventions?
Please take a look at this video.
Were they trying to say that this is a game where you just play as Zelda? Because Spirit Tracks was kind of that, and I think Spirit Tracks did a much better job of... Yeah,
Now alone, Zelda meets the fairy Tri. Receives a mysterious
I'm not sure if I'm sold on the idea of just playing a Zelda game as Zelda,
her kingdom.
because I would expect Zelda to do different things than Link, right?
Create an imitation of it called an echo.
I mean, like,
Once you learn
this is like a Cortopi from
create it whenever,
Hunter x Hunter.
even if there's a wall blocking your path.
I mean, I see she has her own gimmick of being able to copy things with the wand, but even so, if you're exclusively playing as Zelda in a top-down Zelda game, it's going to be more similar to a normal Zelda game than it is different, right? She's still going to play more similar to Link than she does differently.
Together is entirely up to you.
I think Spirit Tracks was a much better
Things you find while
example of having a game with her playable.
you might be
Because it was her and Link working together, and they both did completely different things. You know? Because that sort of thing's been done already.
even battles
Much
with
better
Link.
than this.
You could pick up and throw a rock echo, for example. That's not all.
Dude, don't pick up and throw a rock echo. Just pick up a regular rock. I'm sure there are rocks everywhere, right?
So they'll fight by your side.
Oh, if only I'm on this dirt trail. If only I could find a rock. Good thing I can
So choose the
manifest a
one you
rock.
want to
I can
create
fabricate it from thin air.
Wisdom is key.
I guess it's more of a puzzle game, right? So maybe it's not actually as similar to a normal Zelda game as I'm thinking, right? Maybe I'm being too harsh on it. Maybe I should think of it more like a Tingles, something Rosy Rupee Land kind of game.
In a Hyrule
What the heck?
the fate of the
Oh, what the
kingdom
heck?
is now in Zelda's hands.
Deku Scrub from that was the Deku Scrub from Majora's Mask. That is so crazy to see anything from Majora's Mask in another Zelda game.
Zelda's wisdom. There are a lot of echoes in this game.
That is like the one game that doesn't get anything showing up in other games, you know what I mean?
How you solve puzzles and battle enemies will change depending
Yeah, I guess it's kind of just exclusively
We've created
a puzzle thing, so
player's experience.
maybe I was being too harsh on it, but I just really like Spirit Tracks.
The Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom launches September 26th. An
Because
advanced light system inspired
that's going
by
to
the Legend of Zelda series
sell out.
will also be available to
Uh,
launch. We hope you're looking forward to playing
Having a whole game where the shtick is, the hero gets captured and the damsel has to go save him,
this moment I'd stolen away
I feel like
back to Mr. Takahashi.
to justify that kind of role reversal, you'd have to have a really good gimmick, you know?
Please look forward to the newest entry in the
But it's obviously not a mainline Zelda game.
Let's see a few more headlines.
Okay. I was worried that was going to be the last thing because a lot of times they save Zelda for the end.
Loose and party on.
Okay, they had to put a breather in between Zelda and whatever the next big thing is. Because even though I wasn't super thrilled by that Zelda game, a lot of people are going to be thrilled just because of it being Zelda. I need to mute the stream. More time to think about the Capcom fighting collection. Dude, I've never been able to play Marvel 1 or 2, so this will be a learning experience for me, so I'm really glad there's a training mode instead of just playing it, you know, through Fightcade or whatever. I don't know if... Maybe they have some kind of, like, modded training mode into Fightcade. But I've been under the impression that it's just the arcade version, right? That would be really awesome. I was always thinking that if Marvel vs. Capcom 2 ever gets ported again, that it would be really cool if they kind of rebalanced the game, but have two different versions, right? Like, have it where you can play the original version just for the sake of preservation, but also have a version of the game that is balanced, because you barely see... There are some characters that you barely see in those games, because Marvel vs. Capcom 2 has a huge roster, but you only ever see, like, the same 2 or 3 teams, which is why I've never really been particularly motivated to go out and learn the game on Fightcade or something. I'm much more interested in Marvel vs. Capcom 1, weirdly enough, even though I know most people probably prefer 2. This game was revealed
Might even come across the awesome Thunderjaw.
on the PlayStation stream. It's crazy there's a
You can help Aloy rebuild her home.
a PlayStation
Parents with lots of outfits.
uh
Oh, and you don't have to explore.
I can't say exclusive, right?
Team up with
Because it's not really exclusive anymore, but
in two-player
it's crazy seeing a PlayStation exclusive be on a Nintendo console.
Lego Horizon
Right? Like, legally speaking, this could have just as easily been Lego Bloodborne. And it could have just as easily been Lego Bloodborne on Switch. Imagine that.
begins.
How is this going to run? This was video game journalist's favorite game during one Summer Game Fest, or not Summer Game Fest, Game Awards. What the heck?
Experience a decaying cyber city through the eyes of a cat separated from their family and friends. Explore alongside a drone known as B-12 to find your way home. Carefully climb to the highest heights. Create new paths for yourself.
So does this game have any actual gameplay? Trying to ask that in the nicest way possible. Yeah, the soundtrack's actually not bad. It's pretty atmospheric. Almost reminds me of Metroid Prime, haha. Maybe it'll segue into Metroid Prime 4? I don't think we're getting Metroid Prime 4. There's no way we'd get Metroid Prime 4 and the Capcom Fighting Collection in the same stream. That would be too much. I'm already happy. We don't need Prime 4. They're probably saving Prime 4 for the Switch successor reveal, since it'll probably be a launch title. Dude, okay. I'm not complaining about Animal Crossing games. I mean, I'm wearing an Animal Crossing shirt for Pete's sake, right? I like Animal Crossing. So, I don't want people to get me wrong when I keep rolling my eyes at these Animal Crossing games. I don't dislike Animal Crossing. What I'm baffled about is the fact that all of these devs just keep on trying to ride the Animal Crossing train because of how big Animal Crossing blew up over the past few years, when not even considering that it might be an oversaturated market now with all of these people trying to copy Animal Crossing, right? But maybe they keep selling, right? Maybe a lot of these people buy every single Animal Crossing clone and play all of them. I can't imagine doing that, but maybe some people do. Which Ace Attorney game is this? Which one is this?
Two Ace Attorney spin-off games, including a sequel that was previously unreleased outside of Japan, are coming to Nintendo Switch
Oh,
as one collection.
I don't even know if I was aware of this one. You're playing as Miles Edgeworth?
Take the case out of the courtroom and investigate.
Oh, I'm automatically buying this. I have the other two collections on Switch.
Then use the power of logic to solve challenging cases.
When I say the other two collections, I mean the two newer ones. The original trilogy I have on 3DS.
Or swap to the original sprites.
Yeah, I'll much prefer the sprites.
Take a break from your investigation to explore the gallery, where you'll find character art, music,
It's so weird playing as Miles Edgeworth
arrangements, and more.
because, you know, you're so used to seeing him as the rival.
As you uncover the truth at any cost. Ace Attorney Investigations Collection launches on Nintendo.
Man, a lot of things in this direct that I know I'm going to buy. Usually it's like, oh, maybe I'll buy one or two things in a direct. But this one has a lot of stuff that I know I'm buying. This is Danganronpa, right? I always mix that up with this guy. Unless it's just the same art style. Encoding overloaded. Consider turning down video settings. Okay, well, it was just for this game. Wonder why that happened. I don't think that's ever happened during a direct before.
A mysterious school mascot suddenly appears. While Takumi manages
Your school mascot is a ghost that you can see through, and you can see his brain.
15 other students.
Yeah, this is Danganronpa, right?
Is to defend the school from hostile student enemies for 100 days. An academy shrouded in secrecy. And the unavoidable loss of allies. Can Takumi survive this 100-day trial, colored by extreme and despair, and return to his normal life? The creators of Danganronpa present the 100-line Last Defense Academy, launching on Nintendo Switch.
That's a crazy title. Not necessarily because of the title itself, but how it was written.
On a saga spanning generations.
More Saga stuff. Dude, I can't keep up with all of these, JRPG remakes. I'm glad Square Enix is doing them. Maybe before I started live streaming, I'd have the time to kind of blitz through all these JRPGs, but ever since trying to focus on live streaming and YouTube, a game being long is kind of a downside now. Because now it's not just playing the game whenever I have time. Now, if it's a game that I'm playing through for Twitch or YouTube, you know, I have to do it on certain days where I know I can do a whole live stream, which takes time to kind of prepare, you know? And then if you're doing, like, YouTube stuff, you have to make all the thumbnails and everything. Whereas before, you know, I could be like, yeah, I have 15 minutes to spare before bed. I'll spend some time playing. And a bunch of stuff like that adds up over time. And so I could blow through JRPGs so much faster years ago. So I kind of have to just pick and choose my JRPGs much more selectively these days.
Experience the full remake of Romancing Saga 2. That's almost everything for today's Nintendo Direct. Next will be our last announcement. Please take a look.
Eating out of his hand. He had birdseed in his hand. This is Metroid Prime 4. This has to be cross-gen. There's absolutely no way that... Maybe not even cross-gen. Maybe this will be only on the next system. I can't believe we're actually seeing it. It's actually a real game. Traditional Varia suit design. Nice. Okay. This looks like the opening level. Wow, this looks really traditional. This is really traditional. Well, they brought back Retro Studios, and they said, we're just going to make another Metroid Prime game. I wonder if Bandai Namco is trying to do some, like, really fancy, weird stuff. So then when they kicked Bamco out and brought Retro Studios in, they said go for traditional or something. Dude, what's that guy's name? Beyond is the subtitle. Okay, on one hand... Okay, I was about to talk about it. I thought it was done. Oh, that's a really good track. Oh, it got a release window next year. 100%. That's a Switch successor launch title if they were willing to show the year off already. I'm calling it.
Look at Metroid Prime 4 Beyond.
I don't think it's cross-gen.
We are finally able to share more information.
I think it's just a Snatch launch title.
2025. So please wait a little bit longer. We hope you're looking forward to Samus Aran's new adventure.
Dude, what was that guy's name? He was weirdly lore important.
Thank you for watching.
I'm going to have to... Every time there's a new Metroid game, I always have to, like, brush up on my Metroid lore. But listen. On one hand, them finally showing this is huge, right? This is what I've been waiting for years. On another hand, they didn't really show anything about this at all aside from the direction, right? Because Samus just kind of gets out of the ship, walks around in what is presumably the opening level, and, you know, scans a space pirate. No specifically interesting lore here or anything like that, right? Yeah, so let me watch this again, just in case I missed something specifically important. What's being moved there? Something's being transported there, maybe. Yeah, so my point is, why do I want to say his name is Xylus? I don't think that's it, right? He's one of the bounty hunters from Prime Hunters. You guys can remind me in the comments. That name came to mind and I had to check, but that's not it. My point is, there's not really a lot to analyze here. I was expecting that when this day would finally come, I would analyze the Prime 4 footage for like an hour straight because I'm looking forward to this so much. But there's really like nothing to analyze here because it's so traditional, and that's kind of the only thing they showed. So ultimately, my point about this is that I'm not disappointed that there's not much to analyze here, because the entire point of this reveal trailer is to show the direction of the game, right? And the direction is that it is very much a return to form to the first Metroid Prime. And obviously Prime 2 and 3 as well. But 2 kind of had its own gimmick, 3 had its own kind of gimmick. Whereas this just looks straight up like we're going to make a game with the same exact formula as Prime 1. It's the same suit design. Maybe there are some little differences on like the panel lining or something, but for the most part, it's the same suit design. Looks like the same exact kind of control scheme. The HUD looks pretty much the same. The map looks the same, right? So, I would have been willing to accept if it were more different than this, but I'm also willing to accept it for being very much a return to form. I'd be down either way, right? And I think they decided to go with a return to form. For one, like I said, maybe Bandai Namco was being too weird and gimmicky, so Nintendo kicked Bamco out and had Retro Studios do something more traditional. And also, it's just been so long, right? It would be weird to kind of riff on the franchise and make it too weird, considering we haven't like had a normal Metroid Prime game in so long. I can't believe we got this in this trailer after the Marvel vs. Capcom 1 and 2 ports. This is definitely the direct for me. This has to be by far my most favorite direct in a long time, and I don't think any direct anytime soon is going to top this unless we get some more revealing footage about Prime 4 as well, right? Wow. I was already saying we don't need Prime 4 because I already am happy with the MvC 1 and 2 ports. I don't know if I said this already, but that's a really cool looking, really weird looking, what is that? Key art behind the logo? It's like an event horizon almost. Yeah, a lot of things in this direct that I'm going to buy. I think maybe I kind of wrote off the possibility of Prime 4 when it wasn't a cold open. For some reason, I was expecting the game would be a cold open and not a one last thing type of game. 100% though, I'm betting this is not going to be a Switch game. Like I said, I think it's going to be a Switch successor. Not even cross-gen. I think if it's going to be next year, they'll probably make it like a holiday next year game, and by that time, the Switch successor will be out, I think, and this will definitely push console sales. Slug is his name. I had to look it up. It was eating me up so much. Xylus was really close. Almost an anagram of his name. Slug with an X at the end. When I was thinking Xylus, I was thinking of X as the first letter. So yeah, wow. I'm going to try to get this timestamped and posted. I might separate the Marvel vs. Capcom and Prime 4 sections as their own thing, but honestly, this whole Direct was so good, I think I'm just going to upload it all as one video because there's very little downtime here. So thanks everyone for watching. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if there were any kind of details that I somehow missed in the Metroid Prime 4 trailer. And I will see you guys later. So thanks for watching and bye for now.